whom it may concern, thank you for putting Monaco and Spain back to back on the calendar. I haven't caught this many Z's since Barney took a whole fucking season to marry Robin, only for them to get divorced so Ted could marry Aunt Robin.
Whoa, spoilers!
Of the last 144 laps of the Formula 1 calendar, we have been treated to just 5 laps of decent action.
Shit, that's less action than I even see. And there's a Tickle Tavern 2 minutes down the road. Just saying.
Speaking of brothels, Lance Stroll has been relieved of his duties pre-race so those delicate wrists of his can be tended to.
Wait, that's the road to a Formula 1 seat? Lawrence, you dirty bastard.
Martin Brundle, OBE, must have some Aussie in his blood as he pulls a sickie on his birthday weekend.
I hope Marty threw a party that Corey Worthington would be proud of.
McLaren seems satisfied with the front wing changes mandated in Spain as they return to form with a 1-2 in qualifying. Mr. Nonchalant leading the mildly talented Lando Norris behind with Max Verstappen hot on their heels. Come race start, Norris is up to his old tricks as he drops behind Max while Georgie Boy also struggles and loses ground to 2 Ferraris.
These days the Mercedes are looking less like silver arrows and more like wheelbarrows.
Oscar Piastri was unheard of during the GP as he sailed away in the lead and was under no threat from behind, while Fernando Alonso tried to impress his fans.
Fernando and Carlos put up the worst home defense scene since Waco.
The race was turning into a classic fizzer, much like the season 9 of How I Met Your Mother, never to be seen again. That is until the last 5 laps. Cheers, Kimmy, by the way. Red Bull turned into Ferrari and Max went from Mazepin to Verstappen to Osama Bin, all in a few laps.
We now know it only costs 10 seconds to turn your Formula 1 car into a certified war machine.
With the end of the race came another rendition of the Australian national anthem. That damn song is growing on me faster than herpes at Coachella.
Wait, you have herpes? That shit's for life.
Oscar gets that lead back up to 10 and Max scores 1 lowly point. As the season progresses, it is turning into a true 2-horse race.
Well, 1 horse, 1 donkey.
Round 1. Player 1. Ready. Player 2. Ready. Fight.
Timmy.
What's going on? Rage quit.
Ooh, rage quit. I like it.
You like it?
I'll give it like a 7 out of 10.
Yeah okay. It's upwards from here.
It's only up from here.
Yeah.
Well,
I felt like that was
you've
good.
already set a pretty good bar.
I felt like that was a good stand.
Yeah.
You know, it's got the gaming in there. Rage quit.
Spanish Grand Prix.
Yeah.
Done and dusted. So I reckon we just go head first straight in. The biggest headline of the weekend. Easily. Stroll pulls out of the Spanish Grand Prix.
I'm sure Stroll does a lot of pulling.
Of course, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
The Verstappen shunt.
Oh.
Yeah.
What? I
Have
thought
you-
we were here to talk about Lance.
Well, you can talk about Lance if you want, but I would prefer not to talk about Lance personally.
He's a dirty
That was
boy.
I genuinely cheered when I saw that news. I was like,
I actually forgot he was I actually forgot he was not in the race.
it's easy to do.
He makes no
I forget
impact.
he's in most races.
All right, so what do you got about Maxi Pad there?
The Verstappen shunt. Have you ever seen something like that before?
Well, yeah, I mean, Vettel did it to Hamilton in Baku.
Check out the big brains
Yeah.
on Timmy.
Yeah. It was
So,
very reminiscent.
What are you saying? It's a move of a world champion. Is that what
Yeah.
you're saying?
Move the world champion, that one.
So, in your point of view, it was intentional. There's no ifs,
clear.
buts, maybes.
Clear as day.
He
I
knew
just don't
exactly
know.
what he was doing.
Absolutely. I don't know who he was sending a message to, though.
His
what?
team,
Why punish George for
the
it?
FIA. Well, we know that him and George don't have a great history.
Yeah. Oh, I can't believe he only got a 10-second penalty.
That's what's most absurd.
That was a flagrant 2 if I've ever seen one. That was
Yeah.
malicious.
That was some intent.
There was wind up.
Yeah.
He lets the guy. I mean, me and you, F124. That's the shit I'll pull on you. Like,
Well, yeah.
you don't.
Jump into any F1 lobby, and that's what you'll have happen to you.
Yeah, he forgot he wasn't in the sim for a second.
Yeah.
The immersion is real.
So, just explain to me, like, what do you think is what can compel him to do that? I mean, we've said this before, just at the beginning of the season, when he was in the heat of the moment with battles with Lando. old Max would rear his head.
Yeah.
And this was old Max rearing his ugliest of heads.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. I mean, I've actually got my main takeaway as when under pressure, Max reverts to violence.
He does, yeah. I mean,
It's-
if he's not winning, he's the biggest sore loser. And I get it. Nobody likes to lose.
That's
But
what
apparently
makes him-
nobody likes to lose more than this
Yeah.
guy.
I mean,
So-
you said it, movie world champion. That's, I mean, he got himself all wound up about being on the hards.
What?
What
Bro
are these
forgot that's
things?
the only tire he had left.
What are these things I've got on my car? That's the hard, Max.
See, I almost blame Red Bull. So let's just break it down real quick, and I'll get your intake, your expertise on it. So first of all, he pulls off one of the greatest saves of all time. And when he
catch.
comes onto the main straight,
Yeah.
like that is true Max Verstappen talent right there. Not
Yep.
many drivers are coming back from that.
He nearly
Like,
did a Mazepin,
Yeah,
and he came back and did a Verstappen, and
unbelievable.
yep.
So has that incident, catches it, still
Yeah.
stays
and it
alive.
was scary stuff.
And you could say that the only reason he's on the hards is because he burnt the softs in practice. Was it practice or was it qualifying?
Nah, I think it was because he did 2 soft stints at the start of the race.
Right.
So
So,
he started on
so that's where he's
softs.
burnt them. Yeah.
Went straight back onto softs, whereas no one else did that.
Yeah.
So like they,
So they didn't allow for a safety car in their strategy,
Yeah.
which meant the only set of tires he had left now
Yeah.
was a set of hards that
Yeah.
nobody wanted to touch with a 10-foot pole.
No.
So obviously terrible under temp, no grip.
Yeah.
Not a great start to the restart.
No.
Charles gets the run on him. Now, Charles definitely was coming across and
yeah,
gave him a little love tap on the side.
which is not a problem, I don't think.
No, but it wasn't Max's fault.
No,
Max was Max was just trying to survive after
he was driving a straight
you know,
line. It's
he had the biggest steaming pile of shit in his pants after he's caught the car that he was dealing with that problem.
yeah.
And then he's got Charles on there giving him a little love tap.
Yeah. He has the right to be upset about that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he did nothing wrong. But at the same time, I don't know really why the FIA investigated it.
I mean, I had shit in my pants after I watched that
You
that
still do, I
last
think.
corner.
Yeah, no, it's
Okay, so then they come into turn 1, and because of Charles getting the run on him, that allowed George to then get a slipstream
a gutsy
and
move.
dive bombed him.
Yeah, I respect
And the
it.
move was on. Like, just unfortunately for him, the grip wasn't on. So he's bunted
Well,
Verstappen, gave him a little tap.
I'd argue fortunately for him. He played off in the end.
Well, yeah.
If
yeah.
he didn't make that move, he doesn't get that position.
Well, that's right. So Max takes 2 hits
Yep.
in the space of 1 corner, essentially.
Yeah.
So I can understand why he's livid. I mean, let's not even forget making his way through the back markers, how much bullshit he had to witness as well. So, like,
Oh, yeah.
you could just tell his blood pressure was just
He didn't have the
climbing and
easiest of
climbing and
races.
climbing. No.
Yeah.
So then gets a whack, takes the shortcut, which is a true shortcut because
it's quicker.
it seemed to be faster than
Yeah.
the track.
Yeah.
Comes ahead. So this is where it gets, I think, complicated because Red Bull tell him to swap back positions. And there has been no official
They
word.
weren't even investigating at that point.
No. So big miss from Red Bull, proving, I guess, even the best make mistakes.
Yeah.
So Max clearly was not happy with the decision, but obliged, But I think Red Bull or his engineer, sort of the way he almost eggs Max on. So you have that whole conversation take place where, well, my advice is to give it back. So it's up to you what you want to do. But as you mentioned before, the previous message where when he was questioning why is he on the hards, Max is quite sassy and he's just sassy back.
Yeah.
He's like, you want to be a bitch with me? I can be a bitch
Yeah.
with you.
I mean, they've been a combo for nearly 10 years, so they have the right to do that.
Yeah. But it just, how much of it is poking the bear and then the bear finally bit back? And unfortunately, George copped it.
Yeah, he did. And he did nothing wrong. Again, the move was on. But it's funny, I said to you while we're watching the race, I was like, this drive that Max is putting in is very reminiscent to what Oscar did in Imola. Dud strategy, just have to try and outdrive it.
Yep.
How calm and cool did Oscar stay?
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
He
that's
didn't
true.
summer bend anybody.
No.
He got through and he was quick.
Made
And
all the
and
moves,
he
made them all
went back
cleanly.
to third, the best position he could have potentially had in the first place.
Yep.
Max. No, he was making the moves, but man, did he get hot under that helmet?
It was not as well executed and
I mean,
quite a bit
even-
sloppier.
A safety car in the last 5 laps. It was the script from Imola
Yeah.
reproduced.
Yeah, that's funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
The other thing that we spoke about was how many races fall into the same patterns and the same outcomes.
Yeah.
It's almost like the track can only dictate so many variations of a race
Yeah.
that we get repeats of races, and
Yeah.
this sort of fell into that same Barcelona
It's
track.
exactly right. I mean, again, project will come up in the future. Exactly the same. Tire wear, pit stops. It's just get to the end of the race.
Yeah.
Just get to the end of the race. Just survive. Just get your pit stops done. Like, there's no real racing, you know. I mean, it allowed some racing because you had a lot of people on different tires, offsets on strategy and whatnot. But
So my question then for you is, was the penalty harsh enough? And if not, what kind of penalty do you think an action like that deserves?
I think an action like that, because you can't, like, I know Nico Rosberg was asking for his head. Like,
Yeah, he's called
he
the black
was
flag
like,
straight
you got a
away.
black flag. Like, no, you don't see the black flag. It's very rare in Formula One.
I'd love to know. We should have looked it up. When was the last time we saw a black flag?
I want to say last year they were talking about this. I don't know if anyone got black flag last year, but I know they were talking about it, and it was like Canada 07.
Okay,
I
so
reckon.
decades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't think a black flag is like, that's extreme.
Okay, so you're ruling out a black flag.
Throwing out a black, I'd say a pit lane penalty,
drive through.
drive through, just a drive through, no stop and go, nothing.
Well, I mean,
Because-
George cut a corner last weekend and got a
That's
drive
exactly
through.
right. Exactly.
No contact.
Didn't crash into anybody. No malicious. Like, the malicious was, I'm fucking sick of this guy. I'm passing him.
Yeah.
Didn't crash into him. He just wanted to get on with his race.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Yeah.
I mean, blimey, he just wanted to do his job.
Yeah.
And he gets a drive through. So, I mean, that's a great point. Like, Max intentionally, we're talking about millions and millions of dollars here, you know, and safety, I guess. And he just crashes his car into someone else with intent. Like, I just feel like straight up, black flag is a bit severe, but
So what do you think is?
drive through penalty is probably suffice.
That's what you're landing on.
yeah, like 10 seconds.
And should he carry any kind of penalty into the next race, or do you think that it should only be?
Should only be for this race. I mean, he'll get, I guess he'd get the points on his license.
Well, he's only got one left now.
Yeah,
He's
so like
before a race
that's the
ban.
biggest thing. I feel like if anything, they should have maybe they do, but the capabilities to be like 2 points off because of the malicious intent behind it.
Yeah.
You know, so they should have that potential to be like, whoa, that was across. We can't have cars. I mean, what happens next week? Alonso gets pissed and just, you know what, fuck it, bang,
Yeah.
you're gone,
And
and then it's
a
10-second penalty.
and
Boo.
3 points.
Yeah. So like, there needs to be, that's the thing. They're setting a standard. This, you know, they're creating, things that they can look back on, precedents.
Yeah.
And this is it, 10 seconds.
Yeah. So I think as well, just sort of, I guess, expanding on that, what's even more hilarious is he got driver of the day. So
Oh my God,
we've talked about how broken driver of the day has been all
Yeah.
year.
Oh.
All year. It's just non-stop ridiculousness. It's almost redundant even having it to this point.
I
But
agree with that.
he gets the driver of the day vote,
He finished 10th.
finished 10th, started 3rd, and had an incident like that.
Yeah.
It's just wild. I'm in two minds because part of me is like, we were talking and we were like, man, another race that is just, why did we stay up and watch it?
Yeah.
That was almost back to back to back non-event races, and that's just not great for the sport. Nobody wants to see that. Now, as an Oscar fan, that's good. Boring
good
race is
Spain,
good because
yeah.
it means, you know, he's probably getting the win,
Boring
and we want to
race,
see
yeah,
that.
yeah.
So part of me is like, without the Max drama and without the Max bullshit, we wouldn't have anything to talk about right now.
No, if that
Yeah.
safety car didn't come out, it's a cruisy finish. And we just
And
do
it's-
what we did for Monaco. We just talk shit for an hour and survive. You know?
So yeah, I mean, without the drama, it makes it a far less interesting Grand Prix.
Yeah.
And it's almost like exactly what Formula One needed, because we've had literally almost 3 boring races, and right at the end, they just get a little headline in
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
that's going to carry us through until Canada now. So yeah,
I mean, Canada.
the script
again,
writers, script
Canada-
writers were like, we need to think of something.
I feel like Canada's a tough track to pass on as well. Like, I think this is just the sport now. Like, thank God they're downsizing these cars because this is becoming, and we've said we're round 8. We're still yet to see the McLarens race. The two best driver car combinations on the grid, we still haven't seen them race together. And
Yeah.
it's because the cars can't run close enough. Those two cars are so equal, there's no advantages, and they can't get close enough to fight. Like, we're not seeing racing happening. you know?
Yeah. Any other final notes
No,
on the
that's the biggest
Verstappen
thing. No.
incident?
No.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move into the categories. So, final boss obviously goes to our countryman.
Yep.
Win number 5 for the season.
Yeah.
1 away from Danny Rick's career
Whoa,
wins.
Hold horses.
Oh, I'm up.
Hold
I'm
your nut.
excited. Sorry, I'm excited.
I don't know how I feel. I'm in two minds a little bit.
Whoa.
I mean,
Okay,
'cause obviously, I want him to rack up 100 wins. I want
Yeah.
him to rack up 110 wins. But, you know, that first milestone, like, I watched all 8 of those wins.
Mhm.
So,
And then just to see
and
how
it felt good. It felt nice. 8 wins. That's more than I've got. That's more than many have in the
it's
sport.
respectable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one less than Mark.
It's
like,
no shade to Danny Rick and
No.
like different eras, different cars, different circumstances for
Yeah.
sure.
So, again, I was a very big part of, and for my, that was a very big part of my life, those 8 wins.
Mhm.
And here he is, probably in Canada, going to equalise it.
Probably in Canada.
Good
I
chance
like it.
in Canada. And that,
So-
that'll be a talking point, I reckon, between us. But definitely, even on the coverage, you know, social media for that next week, it's,
Yeah, somewhere
You know,
Danny
how
Rick
many
is in
did Danny
Perth
Rick
or
have?
LA and he's
300?
just thinking, oh, damn, I'm going to be
Yeah.
in the news again. Leave me be. I just want to
Yeah.
just want to put my feet up and retire.
do you reckon he's in Perth? I don't reckon he's in Perth.
Somewhere in the world. Yeah.
But, and then, you know, he's only 1 away from Mark at that point, which
Yeah.
feels less bad because he's his manager. He's a big part of why he's there doing this
Big
right
part
now.
of the success, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm sure that'll be, Mark's probably excited about that.
So Oscar got a Grand Slam.
No, I don't think
Or-
so. Because I think a Grand Slam technically you have to lead Q1, Q2, Q3.
They include that
I'm
as
pretty
well.
sure. I think it's like literally everything. I
Okay.
don't think it includes practice because who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
I think it's Q1, Q2, Q3, lead every lap, fastest lap, win the race.
Right.
Which he did everything besides lead all the qualifying sessions.
Yeah,
So,
I mean Mercedes with their sorry, not Mercedes, McLaren with their nerf of the front wing. We're supposed to see
that
less
a s-
dominance.
Is that a spoiler? Is it? Is that a foreshadow?
No, it's a misspoke. So we see Oscar get pole, get the win, get the fastest lap, and Lando gets second. Like,
Yeah.
it's a perfect weekend
Literally.
for McLaren.
Yeah.
Like, maybe they should be nerfed more often because it
Yeah.
seems to be working for them. So,
Exactly right.
Um,
But, I mean, he does tend to win these,
well, I said
have
last week,
three
right?
races.
When he has a off Grand Prix, he tends to
Hmm.
be hungrier to bounce back.
That's what I mean. And that, to the point, 8 races in, he's cemented as those 2 third places in a row as his biggest skid of the season.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
things are looking pretty positive for
Yeah.
our boy here. So,
Back to a 10-point lead in the championship as well. So
Mm.
it's still not a lot of breathing room. Like, that can just be undone with one DNF, one
Oh, that goes for
malfunction.
both of them.
Goes for both, yeah. So, he's still got a lot of work to do. And, like, I think that almost, in a way, shows just how on it you have to be. Like, you can never not be on it because it is so tight that, I mean, Verstappen was in the hunt, and it's only now after this, let's call it a brain fart, that he dipped to 50 points behind Oscar, roughly.
Pretty, yeah.
So now he's kind of on that sort of edge of, like, is he really in contention anymore?
he needs DNFs at the front.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a couple. as
So
well.
it very much is a
Hmm.
which McLaren is it going to be? And
Yeah. I mean, as I said in the speedrun, it's exactly that. It's 2-horse race. It's 2 McLarens. Red Bull pretty much dropped out of it.
constructors is it's not even worth
No,
talking about. That's
no.
it. Okay, so next category is the noob. I'm
Yep.
interested to see who you have here.
Don't look. Nico Rosberg.
Whoa, okay, so you're going off grid straight away.
Not a fan of his commentary.
Ooh, okay. See,
I
I
think
disagree.
I used to
here.
be, but I feel like it's funny because he is obviously an ex-race car. Obviously, ex-world champion.
Hmm.
I feel like
Well,
he
not
doesn't.
ex-world champion, still world champion.
Well, he's a oh yeah, okay, whatever. A world champion of the past.
Yeah.
I don't think his insight is that good.
I do. Well, you have to give me an example, but I do question.
I'm not going to give you an example, but
Well,
I
why
feel
not?
like just because I didn't write any down.
Well, why not?
Just when I was listening to the,
You
'cause I
bring
don't
up this
make,
point,
I don't
you
make
don't have
notes.
any
I
facts
write
to back it
names
up?
and I just talk about it.
half-assed.
No, because there was, he wouldn't let, like Brundle and Crofty have such a good chemistry where they just let each other go. There's no like, oh no, that's wrong, or this is wrong, or you're wrong there. Like they just cook together.
Yeah.
They're a team.
Yeah.
You know? Nico Rosberg would not let Crofty say one thing that wasn't necessarily 100% right.
Yeah.
He'd pull him up on everything, and
Yeah.
it's just like, and even not even like factual things, just like feeling things. Like, yeah, Crofty's not a race car driver, but he's been doing this job for a very long time. He knows a thing or two, so he would say, "Oh, you know, you kind of feel like this or that," and Rosberg back, "No, it's not like that." It's like, well, man, like, do you think we enjoy this? Like, you little spiteful fucker.
I disagree. I like Rosberg's commentary. I like that he tends to be a bit more of an antagonizer, and he likes to call out shit.
Yeah,
and
he can
doesn't-
call that shit,
He
but
doesn't seem to
support
have
your
bias.
Really?
Well,
He couldn't suck Lewis harder if he tried.
yeah, no, well, yes, okay.
And for some reason, I don't understand
But then
that,
he's also very quick to pull up Lewis on his bullshit and Ferrari on their bullshit as well. I have no doubt that they're good friends, and he's obviously probably going to show some support for his ex-teammate. But I think overall, he's pretty fair in his callings against all the drivers.
No, I just wish they'd get JB back on the call.
Where is Teddy Boy?
Ted Kravitz.
Yeah.
He was there.
Was he?
Yeah.
I feel like I didn't really see him at all.
No, he was there because again, he was doing he's getting really good at of calling in the team radio himself. You're not hearing the 2 seconds Ted as often these days.
Yeah, yeah.
He'll be on. Team radio.
Yeah.
He'll just wait patiently.
Yeah.
Just bide his time. He knows they're coming back to him. He knows what the fans want.
Well, I disagree. I think I like Rosberg's commentary, and I actually have him in a different category,
Okay.
so that's funny.
Well, who's your noob then?
My noob, I am awarding this one to Sir Lewis Hamilton. So I think Ferrari had a pretty, well, not
So
Ferrari.
he's super bad, huh?
He had a pretty average weekend that was capped off by getting overtaken by Nico Hulkenberg in a Sauber on the final lap.
Yeah.
That hurts, man. That hurts when you
can't be
you
letting that
experience
happen.
No way.
Nico was there 70% due to luck and strap.
Which is very much a big part of the F1 game.
Yeah, and that doesn't often affect a team that slow, that hard, where they're that high up. He should have been happy with 6.
Yeah.
But no, he pushed on and he pushed that Ferrari and got the position. Like, Lewis shouldn't be letting that happen.
He got 7th, but because of the
past 6 and
because
got
of
the
the
penalty. Yeah.
So he was really nowhere. He dropped a couple
Well,
spots.
7th. I don't think you call that nowhere for a whatever the fuck that is, a Sauber.
Well, when Leclerc puts it on the podium in 3rd and doesn't get overtaken
No,
by...
I thought you were talking about the Sauber.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Hamilton here, the noob. So, yeah, I just think this... I'll be surprised if he has any hair left by the end of the season. He's at odds with the team's at odds with him, nothing's clicking.
It's actually quite sad, to be honest. Like,
It is, but I just feel like it's expected. Like,
I
how
thought
many
this
times
was
have
going to
we
be a
seen...
great resurgence.
No, see, I didn't think that. How many times have we seen this happen where a driver who's had quite a stellar career, Alonso is a perfect example where he's now had a bigger period of time with no success than he has with success. Schumacher, he came back from Mercedes. He had no success.
Yeah, that was
I think there's quite a lot of instances where people, they've kind of already hit their peak. They're looking for maybe a little resurgence in their late career.
Yeah, I mean, Vettel, same thing.
Vettel, same thing. Like,
went
he
to
had a
Aston.
terrible stint at Ferrari, and then
Most of it was okay, but then he obviously got overstayed his welcome, perhaps. And
Well,
then
that was
went to
sort of
Aston.
Ferrari's era of, malfunctions and faults and all sorts of garbage going on. So
yeah, nothing's changed
no.
internally.
So yeah, I think he almost sounds like defeated and regrets moving from Mercedes. Maybe
Yeah.
I would have respected him more personally if he stayed with Mercedes and finished out his career with them. And then, I know they've got Antonelli there. Whether he then helps mentor him, stays part of the team. You know, it's always nice kind of seeing Bottas in the wings there, and he's very much still a part of the Mercedes family, and he's playing a mentoring role. So, you know, I don't like seeing it, but I do kind of like seeing it.
Yeah, I mean, he thought he was unhappy in his last season at Mercedes. I don't think he foresaw
The pain,
what was coming.
the pain of this season.
Yeah, I mean, know your enemy. Like, you know, he knew as much as he might have disliked whatever was happening at Mercedes, like, he's well entrenched there.
Oh yeah.
It's his team.
Mm.
You know, he walked away from that, and now he's paying the price.
Okay. Nerfed. Oh no, sorry. Buffed is the next category.
Yep.
So this one goes to Nico Hülkenberg.
Samesies.
I had a feeling that was going to be the case. Where the fuck did that come from?
I mean, they were actually pretty speedy in quali as well, weren't they?
They were.
Yeah, like they put
Well,
themselves in a position to benefit from the team in my next category.
Yeah.
And just take advantage of a bit of luck, run the gauntlet with not stopping
Mm.
on that safety car, which Spain's tricky to pass on. So it was only 5 laps of racing, so it was worth the risk, clearly.
Well, Bortoletto almost got points as well. Like, he had one of his best finishes.
Oh my god, I was so happy. I was shouting out loud when Fernando passed Lawson and got that 10th.
Well, hang on. What does
Sorry,
that
you just reminded me that there was actually passing during the race, and that just
ease up?
triggered me. I got so excited.
Yeah. I'm actually stoked for Nico Hülkenberg. You know,
That's nice.
I've been pretty harsh on him in the past, and for good reason. Now, 5th, again, it's kind of funny. What did I say last season? Like, when Sauber finally scored a point,
Yeah.
and it was like late in the season, and they were celebrating it like a win, and it was
Yeah.
like, this is actually a sad thing, not
Yeah.
not actually a happy thing.
Yeah.
This kind of has that same feeling, like you're celebrating a 5th. It's not a
Mm.
podium, it's not a win.
Yeah.
But being that they've had such little lack of success, especially this season, it looks like they just had nothing, and they were just focusing on next season.
Yeah.
It really came out of nowhere. So good on him.
Yeah, I mean, I've got him in buff purely based on the facts of it.
Yeah.
Clearly the best progress race on race, but I could care less about Nico Hülkenberg getting points and Sauber getting points.
Yeah.
Regardless.
It's kind of my point.
But
Your point is my point.
yeah, it's a difference, you know. Like it is like how he got 5th, but again, yeah.
All right.
I'm not throwing a banner up on my wall. I'm not putting a poster up in my shed.
Okay, so who do you have for nerf then?
Williams.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a bit harsh.
Well, why? We've been talking about them all year
Mhm.
as bouncing back, and they have
Yep.
every race. They must have scored points every race between the two
Almost,
of them, mostly
yeah.
Albon.
Yep.
To the point where they were getting double points finishes, and they were talking about, you know, the next step's the podium, and they're close. And we were talking about not long ago the 4th fastest car.
Yep.
And then this weekend they were just nowhere. They were nowhere.
they qualified.
They
Terribly.
freaking ran out of spoilers.
Yeah.
Ran out of front wings.
Yeah.
Now you can't blame the team for the drivers being dickheads and crashing, but they were still in the pack. If they weren't in the pack, maybe they get away without, you know, wiping their nose on everybody. But they didn't have enough spoilers. They had to retire a car because they didn't have a spoiler to put on the damn thing.
Yeah, that's the reality of qualifying in the mid-pack, is it's the Wild West out there. So, yeah, their qualifying performance definitely hurt them, but I don't feel as though they were nerfed. If any, I have them in...
Well, we'll get there. Who's your nerf then?
so nerfed,
McLaren's front wings.
Mercedes. Nerfed. 3
I feel
engine
like our
failures
argument-
now.
Okay, well, you're blaming Aston. I mean, I know it's a Mercedes in the Aston, but I don't think that counts. It's
Who
not-
else has got engines blown up left, right, and centre?
Nobody. But
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Nerfed. Whatever the hell has happened to Mercedes all of a sudden, like the first
It's probably budget cap.
half dozen races,
Hmm.
they looked solid and
Yeah.
consistent podiums. George is still up there. You know, he's had his car blew up last week, so he's
Yeah.
probably got a brand new one in there. So he's probably good for another 2 or 3 races.
I reckon they're just holding their coins and not developing the car, which the engine blowing up doesn't come under the development. But again, just saving money, just extend the life of the engine, and maybe we save an engine at the end of the year and
Yeah.
whatever. You know, it's the end of the engine regulations we're in this year. So
Poor old Kimi, you know, had the DNF at his home Grand Prix in Imola.
yeah,
Another DNF here, so completely out of his control. And then George had the blow up at Monaco. So
you're getting ahead of yourself here, and I don't appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm
Stick,
I'm
stick to your point.
I'm spitting facts that car has got some serious issues right now, and
Yeah.
it's still fairly
I mean,
early in the season.
Let's not
so-
forget, you still had Geordie boy as a championship contender like 2 rounds ago.
Yeah, and like again, just a couple of engine failures, couple of bad qualities, bang, you're
Yeah.
out of contention all of a sudden.
Mm.
So
I mean, I'd argue he was never in contention.
no, but mathematically, and again,
Oh, mathematically, friggin' Lance Stroll's still in contention.
well, well, yeah. But what I'm saying is, like, it wasn't like he was 100 points down.
He might be now.
If the McLarens take each other out one race and he bags 25 points,
Yeah.
it's like
But again, that's an oddity. But
it's an oddity.
yeah, it's yeah. I mean that you are right. I think we're both right. Both teams are nerfed.
And by we're both right, you mean I'm right.
Williams is also nerfed.
All right.
I've got it written right here.
All right. Sweaty try hard.
Yeah.
Who are you giving it to?
Fernando Alonso. He was really trying out there.
He was
I
pushing
haven't
it.
seen him racing that sprightly in a long time.
Mhm.
He was keen. He was keen to put on a show for his fans.
Those outside overtakes.
Yeah.
Good racing.
Yeah.
Good to watch.
I mean, he even went off track. Went through the dirt. and,
yeah, locked it up. Luckily, he didn't get bogged in there.
Oh, and he got a point. Like,
He got 2 because he
did
got the.
Oh, yeah, the penalty. Yeah, of
Yep.
course. Does that mean Lawson got a point?
It does. Oh no. Sorry, no. Because actually,
I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah.
I hope not.
he was either just outside. He might have been like 11th.
No, because Max finished 10th.
Yeah,
got
yeah.
the point.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
he must have finished 11th. Because he overtook Lawson and then
Yeah.
Max split them. Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, like I know he didn't do. I'm sure he wants more, but he was racing harder than I've seen him race in a long time. He wanted to put on a show. He was making some stellar moves. Like the move
He
out
got
of
lucky
the,
with the safety car.
out of turn
Otherwise, he
5
was out of it.
hairpin up into turn 6. Like that's not a passing move, and he did it 2 or 3 times and tried it a heck of a lot more times.
Well, I guess that's partly when you got nothing else left to lose. Just send it.
Well, that doesn't
and
normally come with age.
He did. Yeah.
That
He did send it a little bit too hard, and had the off.
Yeah.
He's lucky. He
But I
didn't.
think he was
he didn't win
really, I think he was really, really giving it to it, being in Spain.
Well, Sweaty Try Hard, I gave that to Max. Because, I mean, I feel like that is the title of Sweaty Try Hard.
Mm.
Dude was going, like, obviously they changed their pit stop strategy to get the extra pit, and he was going hard for a win. Like, it didn't look like he was like,
But did you give Sweaty Tryhard to Oscar 2 races ago in Imola?
what's that got to do with now?
Well, we just said it's effectively the same script. Oscar, exactly the same thing happened to Oscar.
I can't remember who I gave it to, because I can't remember what I did yesterday.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I'm just curious. Because I think you're wrong.
Well,
I think he. Do we have a,
well
we have
hang
a
on.
category here for Osama bin Laden? No, I don't-
Well,
that's where he's better suited.
the extra pit stop, he was gunning for a potential win.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just the fact that he was like secure a podium. He was still looking to win, and he was pushing hard.
Yeah.
And then I think if you look at what he did to George, that just kind of shows how hard and how much he
Yeah.
wanted
No, I
to
think
be
he
competing.
just. Yeah, well, of course, but I think he just let his emotions get the better of him, and that's not true of a world champion.
No,
Look
it's
at
true of
Oscar
a
out
sweaty
there.
try hard though. Sore loser if you're not
Sore
getting
loser.
having
He
things
is
come
a
your
sore
way.
loser. Yeah. I was going to say something.
Was it?
There's something
You're
we
right.
spoke about.
And he was a
during
sweaty
the-
try hard.
No, of course not.
Then
But-
we can move on.
That's enough with Max. We're just. You love Max.
I respect him.
You
I
can
don't.
respect him all you want, but
I think this year, like,
this was a shit show that he put on.
well, yeah. I mean, well, not really. It's one brain
Oh.
fade.
That's what I was going to say. When we were watching, I didn't want to jinx it, so I held myself back. But I was like, if he just holds out for that safety car,
Well, yeah.
and
He had
it
a-
ended up coming, but he pitted beforehand. But, that's what I was nervous about.
They definitely
That
had.
they ran. I was like, that's opened them up, which is funny because it goes against their strategy of not allowing for a safety car.
Mm.
But I was like, they put themselves in position with track position to take advantage of a safety car.
Yeah, that's well, and this kind of, I guess, even goes more into my point, right? So, it did look like they didn't quite have McLaren in checkmate, but they had him in check.
Hmm.
And then when it
They had
came
them
down
thinking
to
about him.
putting them into checkmate, they sort of changed their mind and pit.
Hmm.
I think either A, that second last pit stop before the safety car, you put the hards on then and you go long. and just see what
Yeah.
it does. The tyre might come good by that 30th lap or whatever.
Well,
it
they
was,
spoke about
right?
they spoke about the problem with this round was keeping the temperature in the tires, keeping the temperature in it, and they know that the hards take quite a long time to get the temp in.
Yeah,
So
but you
you're
have
struggling to get
a
the
long
temp in
stint,
and keeping it.
right? And you know
Yeah.
that the McLarens probably need to pit again. So you're either going to have a pace advantage or you're going to have a pit stop advantage, right? So they might have missed the trick there. I don't know. That could just be pure speculation.
Yeah.
But then, when the McLarens came into the pit and they didn't know what Verstappen was going to do, we both were like, God, I hope Max pits here because
Yeah,
otherwise
yeah.
he could get the win.
Yeah.
And again, it's a track that's very hard to pass on. They pulled
Yeah.
him into the pits.
And
put-
McLarens didn't exactly get fresh tires either.
No, they had old softs too. So they definitely had a chance to be on the podium and not put Max into the situation that led to the incident. So
Exactly right. If he kept the worn mediums, he probably definitely finishes third. If he, even if the McLarens come out behind him, if he didn't pit, he'd probably lose those
Worst case
spots. But
scenario,
holds
yeah.
onto that third.
but they still got to get the
something.
moves done, and we know how good he is at defending.
Unless this race it was defending Lando and he had no interest in it.
Well,
He just
think-
let him sail through.
I think Red Bull did do Max a little bit of a disservice there. So
Like, let the cars race on track. I understand who you're racing. If he's not racing McLarens, he's racing no one.
well, yeah,
So why not race the McLarens?
Yeah.
Like, why not put that fight up?
and they did for the most of the
Yeah.
Grand Prix
Like,
until
You're
they-
definitely letting the win go if he races Lando.
Yeah.
Which he was gone anyway with Oscar's pace. But at least if he holds Lando up enough to cook his tires or keep him right behind him, like, you're in for second. Like, race the cars on track.
Yeah.
You got track position is king.
Yeah, they definitely made an error there. Okay, next category, your trash, bro.
Mhm.
Yuki Tsunoda.
He's trash.
Yeah.
He's so trash.
He's no one's even talking about him.
He's next level trash. Top
Qualified
tier.
worst out of everybody.
He's the
19.
caviar of trash.
Yeah. Only managed 13th. We spoke about it yesterday. He really struggled to pass Ocon.
Yeah.
Just could not get past him, and bro's in a Red Bull.
Yeah.
So, oddly, just out of the media. Like, no one's talking about him.
I
No
think
one's really...
I think the message is received. That Red Bull. I don't
it's a
even.
handful.
Oh, it's so crazy that Max can have that kind of offset to his teammate.
Yeah.
Like, it's flabbergasting. It doesn't make sense. But it's Perez, Lawson, whatever, and Yuki. Three drivers who've just. I mean, he's qualifying last.
Well-
in a Red Bull.
He's in a rough position now because I don't see him going back to racing bulls. And if he keeps going like this, he's going to have no seat next year. So this promotion might have just killed his career.
Yeah.
And
we've seen it time and time again.
yeah, like another one fallen by the sword, by the Max Verstappen sword.
I mean, we
So-
know he's pretty set. I mean, if Aston pick up Honda, there's a.
But even then, like if you're Aston Martin and you're looking at what Max is doing in a Red Bull and you're looking at what Yuki's doing in a Red Bull, do you not look at that and go, is
Yeah, but they
this
got to
the
be
guy?
smarter about it. Look at what he was doing in the RB, even just the first few races this year, even last year, taking it to Ricardo. Like,
Not what Hadjar's doing, as far as I'm concerned.
but in those first two races, he pretty much was. Like-
but the difference is Yuki has years of experience. Hadjar is a rookie.
Yeah, he's got youth and not caring.
Who's your trash, bro?
Liam Lawson. Why even ask?
yeah, he had a few shunts there, didn't he?
He
He's
was-
making that race on race occurrence, isn't he?
You didn't even know what was replay and what was live. It was something else every time.
Yeah.
It was like, oh yeah, this is what happened. Oh no, this is a different one. Like every 5-6 times, I reckon, he's hitting people.
Well, I saw the points against your license, and Verstappen is first with 11. Second was Lawson.
And he's
So-
only done 30 races in his
Yeah.
career.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know how often the points lapse, but
Yearly.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay, okay.
yeah, yearly. So,
how's Max first?
well, over a 12-month period, yeah, he's just
Was it 12 months from? Yeah, okay.
12. Yeah, so it's like a moving 12 months. So it's not season on
okay,
season.
Okay.
So it'd be from this time
Yeah, I
last
guess.
year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, fair game, fair game.
So
But even Lawson's
all of
still
the-
hilarious.
All of the Norton incidents, you know.
Norton.
Norris, sorry.
Oh,
Yeah.
Norton. Okay.
Um,
I like that one.
Norton?
All right.
Lando Norton.
Norton. So put that one in the bank.
All right. Hard luck. Who do you have?
Well, Kimi Antonelli.
Yep.
You know, you were talking about him in the nerf category, and so I was upset because he's got some bad luck.
He
Some
does.
bad juju.
Yeah, he
Bad
does.
vibes going around.
Out of his control.
Yeah. It's pretty sad old run he's on.
So
Like,
we-
he's still top tier rookie, best of the class, but
Yeah,
He's gone
Hajar's right
from-
on his heels though, isn't he?
yeah, well, he's gone from a shoe-in for 6th place,
Mm.
5th, you know, to 3 races in a row with no points.
Well, we basically had him flipped. So I gave nerfed to Mercedes for engine failures, and I've given hard luck to Alex Albon. Because I think,
That's stupid.
well, I think bro lost 2 wings. That weren't both times not his fault.
What are you talking about? The second one was his fault.
Alex Albon.
Yeah. I know he hit Lawson, and this is a wild statement coming
Did
from
he
me.
hit Lawson?
Yes, he did hit Lawson.
Wow, so I saw that as Lawson not giving him space. and
Lawson was
cutting
against
across.
the curb. Oh, you're crazy. No, because he is literally a right-left.
Yeah.
Lawson went from the outside to then turning left. He was
Yeah.
on wheels on the curb. Like, literally, Albon's got the vision
Mm.
to just not hit him. Like,
I don't think
he's
I
got the
saw the
vision to not hit
onboard
him. I didn't see the onboard either.
to know
but
the spacing.
the cars are going left.
Yeah.
Albon just needs to open the steering a little bit and just like not hit him. I mean, how many times do we see Formula One cars, right? You know, they get the nose up in there and then they got to just brake and back out because this car's coming across. And
Oh,
they
yeah.
know they're not in a dominant position.
Mm.
So you either back out or crash and it's going to be your fault.
Yeah.
Albon was behind going into a corner where he's on the outside where it's not even a possibility to go around the outside. And he doesn't just back right away from it. He just allows the crash to happen.
I still blame Lawson.
I'd love to, and I did. I did at the time watching it live, and I was like, of course, like, yeah, give me another penalty, cool.
Yeah.
But then you see it back, and you're like, what was Albon doing? Did he
Either
just
way-
not want to race that race anymore? He's like, oh, what? So you got no more front wings? Oh, fucking bugger.
Well, either way, unlucky to lose 2 front wings so early in the Grand Prix that you have to retire the car just for
It's
that
embarrassing.
reason. So
Like, Williams. This is not last year's Williams, where they had no cars
Hmm.
and no money and no parts. They're now 9 races removed from that.
Hmm.
I know Sainz crashed in Melbourne, but like they've been pretty clean and clear since. There's no excuse to not have enough spoilers for Grand Prix weekend. It's ridiculous.
Well, speaking of front wings, I don't know if you saw this or noticed this, but the first incident where Albon lost his front wing or had front wing damage, he clipped the back. No, sorry. I think it was Hulkenberg's front left clipped him. And I don't know how he didn't get a puncture. Like Hulkenberg's race was almost ruined on turn 1, and by some miracle, that tire didn't pop, didn't go.
Yeah.
He goes on to race and gets a 5th.
Mm.
Like that is how like on edge a race can be. I mean,
This is why we talk. You don't bet on motor racing.
no, like you got to go back and watch it. Like the hit that he takes from the wing,
Mm.
it's right on dead center. It's the wing just slicing through the wheel.
Yeah.
And he doesn't get a puncture. And I'm like, wow, how did he not get out of that race right at that point?
Yeah.
He
I mean,
goes on and gets a 5th.
It's the same for the incident with what's his name, Lawson. Like
Yeah.
how he didn't pick up a puncture.
But that was more of like a side-on kind of thing.
yeah,
Where it's
what
like,
doesn't matter? No, it's the carbon fiber flakes that normally just like to inject themselves into tires.
what are
and blow 'em
Pirelli
up.
doing now?
Yeah, literally. They're making it. They're going backwards.
Yeah.
They're not producing tires good for racing, and they're also not producing tires that'll succumb to punctures.
What's that? Bring on multiple tire manufacturers?
Yeah. See how good Goodyear can make their tires at blowing up.
Yeah. All right. AFK.
Lance Stroll.
Yeah.
Literally.
We're on the same wavelength. Literally.
Sweet.
AFK. Yeah.
Yeah, side quest.
So side quest. I gave this to Alonso. So gets his first points of the season at his home Grand Prix. Has a very up and down race. Very eventful.
Yeah.
You know, while everyone's looking at the front, he's having his own race, and you know, it's a 9th place. Whoop-de-doo.
Yeah, you got points. So.
But he's finally on the board.
Yeah.
Still
It's not
many
all-
points behind Stroll.
It's not Stroll carrying that team anymore.
No, but I imagine that the Spanish spectators would take that as a win that he
Yeah.
was able to get into the top 10 and finally get off the mark for the season.
He's had a rough year. I mean, you said it. DNF in Monaco, no fault of his own engine failure.
Yeah.
So. My side quest is Red Bull strategy costing Max third, which we've already been into.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. We got the same sort of things. We're just sort of like,
yeah, finding different
Altering the-
slots for our
Yeah.
clubs.
yeah. All right, I'm curious to know what your Easter egg is. This
Oh, yeah?
is, yeah. I hope you wow me here.
I got the shakes that'll make you quake. I got the fries that'll cross your eyes. I got the burgers that... Well, I just got burgers. How good was Terry Crews doing the interviews?
Well, it's funny you say that because I had him listed as well. I
Yeah.
had both Nico Rosberg commentary and Terry Crews appearance.
He is yoked, that guy. He is
For his age, too.
tame.
Yeah. Like his buttons were about to go ding, 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 ding.
And he's such a happy looking dude. He's
Yeah.
chuffed to be there. Like, I reckon them drivers, like, they're pretty, I mean, they're not ripped because they're going to be light, but they're fit. Like, they're going to be intimidated as fuck. Talking to him, looking at him, standing next to him.
I'm just happy that I live in the universe that has Terry Crews as an F1 fan. Like,
Yeah, it's...
who would have ever
In
thought
Spain, too,
that
it's-
is a crossover we would get?
I,
Yeah,
yeah,
Spain as
like,
well.
if they're in America, yeah, they'd love to pull out the celebs, you know.
Well, America, you could probably argue Silverstone, but yeah,
Yeah.
pulling up at Barcelona,
Yeah.
good on him.
Very strange. I wonder if they're filming something down there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good to see. Good to hear him on the. He was asking the good questions too.
Yeah, he definitely seems to know his stuff. Like, he does give me the impression that he watches and follows it.
Yeah.
Got tripped up on a few little things here and there, but we all do. It happens to the best of
exactly
us. Yeah,
He's on the big stage.
but he's so just full of energy and
Yeah.
positivity, and yeah, he's just good to have in the sport.
So if you had Terry Crews, I'm surprised you didn't throw a good, nice little quote at me.
Well-
You didn't wow me.
I didn't think that hard about it.
Oh.
I was scouring for an Easter egg on this race, and I'm like, there really wasn't much going on outside of, you know.
No, 100%. I
On
mean, I
race.
look for the Easter eggs to put in the speed run,
Mm.
and that's all my notes are normally. There's
Yeah.
just some interesting tidbits, and there's just like nothing, like nothing really come up.
No.
So,
All right,
Terry Crews,
let's switch it over to the ranked.
let's do it.
Driver rankings.
Okay, top 5 drivers. So we'll start with bronze. So bronze, I'm giving to Isaac. Again, he's going to make my top 5. He's he's just so consistent in that racing ball. I still feel for him. Like, I don't think they're going to throw him into the Red Bull seat.
No,
They need
They
to
gotta
protect him.
protect him. He's the prodigal son.
Yeah, but
That car is a career killer.
yeah. I'm liking the way he's approaching his racecraft, how he's handling himself. Like, I'm a fan, I think. Like,
Yeah. And you predicted that he'd be replaced
Yeah.
mid-season.
yeah, I did, yeah. I really was like, who's this guy from F2 that didn't really do anything?
Yeah.
You know, steps up
Who's
to
this
the big
French
dogs.
guy? He doesn't have a French name.
Yeah. Steps up to the big dogs, and he can handle himself, eh? I like it. And like, you know, terrible start to Melbourne, but he didn't let that then just derail his whole season.
Got a lot of fangirls
yeah.
on his side.
Yeah, he he's really turned it around, and he's looking like he could potentially be the best rookie out there. You know,
Yeah.
if he was in similar sort of machinery to Antonelli as well. So
He's doing
very much
well.
looking forward to see how his career.
Progresses.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So my bronze, I've got Franz Hermann, also known as Max Verstappen.
Still made your top 5, huh?
His race unraveled with 5 laps to go, and especially that last sort of 2 laps. So you got to respect the first 60 laps that he put in, and again, he put in a stellar drive to get back to third and undo the team strat.
So I
But
mentioned
I've
all
got
this
him.
stuff
I've
in.
got him bronze because he is a.
Well, I mentioned all this stuff in Sweaty Tryhard, and you're just
Yeah, that's why I got him bronze. There's a lot of drivers out there that don't deserve anywhere near this high.
yeah. Interesting choice.
You just wait till I've got who I've got for silver.
Yeah, I'm a bit worried now. Yeah. All right. Well, silver, I've got Lando, and this.
You're such a wanker.
What?
Last weekend, you wouldn't even put Oscar in the friggin' top 5.
And
Whatever. Why have you got Lando?
Jesus, I feel attacked over here. Just
Why?
worry about
Tell
your
me-
own. Just worry about your own rankings.
Tell me why
alright?
you got. Tell me.
Let's not rehash Monaco
Just tell
and
me
that
why.
shit
Okay.
show.
Yeah, well, you
Jesus.
couldn't even put Oscar in the top 5. The one time you're like,
Do I need to-
what driver do I need to leave out of the top 5? Give him a rest. How about the best driver in
And
the
it
world?
worked. It worked.
Okay.
He heard us. He heard my
Okay.
shame on you, Oscar.
Who's
You
your-
need to do
go
better
on.
than that.
Why is your fan favorite Silver?
Fan favorite,
Come on,
please.
give it to me.
Because he's in McLaren. He came second.
You-
What?
okay. All right. So my Silver is burnt Mylander.
He's not even a fucking driver.
He is a driver. He drives a safety car.
You're
The race was terrible.
you're banned from
Nobody
rankings.
impressed me.
From now
I
on,
was
I'm
watching-
ranking drivers.
I was watching him drive that safety car. I was like, man, that would be a rough gig.
Are you kidding
You've
me?
got to be on the edge to drive that safety car.
You're taking the piss.
I'm not
mate.
taking the piss.
You are taking the
I'm
piss.
not taking the piss. You know, listen, he did a better job, in my opinion, than Lando Norris or Norton. Sorry.
Who do you have for gold? Do I even want to hear it?
Charles Leclerc.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
He had a good race. He come third. Benefited from some
This guy.
Mazepin stuff.
I don't know why I invite you over to my house.
Hey, if we leave an Oscar who come third and had a perfectly fine race off the list, I'm gonna let put burnt for his efforts on the weekend. He doesn't get a shout out that often, all right?
Yeah, this is driver rankings, not
He's a
safety car
driver.
rankings.
He's a driver. He's a race car driver.
All right. Platinum, Nico Hulkenberg.
Yeah, same.
I really wanted to give him diamond, but I couldn't take it away from Oscar. So
Well, why not? You would every other week.
Oh,
Your
jeez.
first
butt hurt much?
Your first. It just doesn't make sense
just
to
can't
me.
let this thing go,
It
can
doesn't
you?
make sense. I listened to snippets of our.
Do you want to
episode.
re-record Monaco?
Listen, no. I listened to snippets of our episode last week, and I just kept thinking, like, it got worse. I was just like, is he serious? Is he seriously not got Oscar in his top 5? Like, I just wish I could say
At
the
least
things.
I understand
that
what a driver is, and I put 5
Bert
drivers.
is a driver. Look him up. He's a driver.
He's not an F1 driver, is he?
Doesn't matter.
Ugh.
This is driver rankings. Do you want to be more specific?
I'm going to have to be, obviously, because you can't grasp the concept.
Anyway,
Why don't you put
why don't you leave Lando off
Why don't you
your
put
list?
Danica in there? She's a
She's
driver.
a driver. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Was she racing on the track this weekend? Was she driving on the
I
track?
don't know where she was.
No. Who was driving
Actually, I
on
haven't
the
seen her for a little while.
track? For the people listening on podcast, not watching, I said that with my mouth shut so no one could read my lips.
Smart man. Did you have Hulkenberg a second as well?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Yeah. Do you reckon we'll ever see Hulkenberg here again?
Oh gosh, I don't know.
Probably not. Yeah. Yeah. It's so hard to tell if this was just like a
It's a blip.
Alpine San Paolo
Yeah,
last year,
yeah,
or
yeah.
All right. So Diamond
Lance
doesn't need to be said.
Oscar Piastri.
Yeah. Why'd you give it to
I
him?
didn't want it. Oscar.
Yeah.
He, as close to a Grand Slam as you can get.
Yeah, that's true. How do you think he's going to go in Canada?
Closest to a Grand Slam as you can get.
I like it.
Yeah.
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 All right. Well, that was fun. I'm glad we did that.
Well, if we're allowed to mix it up and not put, the
Um,
best driver in the world on the list, I'm allowed to put.
I'm thinking
Roy
about recording this again by myself later and just cutting you up.
Well, that's fine. It's not actually
fine.
fine. Don't send it out. You'll upset me.
All right. Sunday sesh.
Sunday sesh.
All right, Sunday sesh. Change up a little bit this week. I've really tried to get the points out of your hands.
Yeah, okay.
So-
You're going to make it a little bit harder now?
Yeah, well, clearly I have to because you're just such a diehard F1 supporter.
Yeah, because it was really difficult working out who won Monaco in 2008.
Yeah, no, I am shocked. That's how much I think of you. I actually am shocked that you got that. All right, so Sunday sesh on this day. If you get the question right, you're a Formula One
Purist.
purist. Yeah,
Yeah.
if you get it wrong, you're a Drive to Survive / F1 movie fanboy. Yeah, have to add that to the category
Hey.
now because that looks.
I've already got my tickets purchased,
Actually,
but I was thinking about it.
when does it come out?
End of the month.
Hmm.
I think it's 2026.
This is not sponsored by the studio.
But if they want to sponsor,
Yeah. Yeah, we'll shout them out easy. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a great movie. Oh, I can't wait to see it. All right, so on this day, Martin Brundle was born.
Yep.
66.
we know, as we know, he threw a big party.
That's it.
He's 66.
That's the Sunday session.
Oh, that was easy.
No, not really. On this day,
If you were to ask me how old was he turning,
Yeah.
no way I would ever have gotten that.
no, well, maybe I should have asked you that.
Yeah.
And you definitely could have got that one wrong. On this day, the 2003 Monaco Grand Prix was run. Who won this race?
2003.
So you can have a stab, and I'll give you some. I've got some hints, but you can feel free to reel someone off. See if you can get it first go.
All right. Well, stab. I mean, I guess the mind hole goes straight to Schumacher. Maybe did Kimi ever win Monaco?
Probably. Probably. Yeah.
Probably.
I
All right.
guess
So stab. I'll just say Schumacher, but I'm sure that it's not. Yeah.
Whatever.
So give me a hint.
He's Colombian, the winner in this race.
Ooh. See, I'm not good with countries.
Yeah, I pretty much figured you'd be stumped by this one. So
Yeah. Colombian is okay. Let me. I don't want to just sit here umming and ahhing while I'm trying to put names to faces.
mm-hmm.
What's his? Give me the next hint.
He raced in Indy, post F1 career.
Okay. Is it Juan Pablo Montoya?
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
Do you want to know the third hint?
Yep.
He is one of 3 drivers to win 2 of the 3 legs of the Triple
Wait, why
Crown
am I
Motorsport.
clapping? Can you clap for me?
One might say he was one of many good steerers in Formula 1.
Okay, yeah. I'm glad we didn't get to that point, but
Yeah.
give me a clap. All right, you can do better than that.
All right, I'd actually have a second question for you.
What? No, what the hell is this?
How many overtakes happened during this race?
What?
2003 Monaco Grand Prix. How many overtakes?
0.
0. That's right. You're
Well,
on a
there you
roll.
go. I get so
You're
now
on
I
a
get
roll.
2
No,
points.
these are action off point. Unless you get this next one wrong, and then you lose them all.
No.
Yeah. Third question. How many times has 0 overtakes happened in Formula 1 in the last 44 years?
Oh, jeez. I mean, pick a number.
Pick a number.
1.
Wrong. So, Chris, make sure you scrap the points there.
Mm.
4 times.
Yeah, right.
2000
So once every sort of 10 years it occurs, huh?
Well, super anomalies, right? 2005 Indianapolis Grand Prix. Do you remember
Yeah.
what happened that day?
So was it called off or something
No,
early?
6 cars on the grid
Yeah.
because the tyres.
Oh,
blowing up
okay,
and
that
it's
was
just
that
the
race.
Michelin runners
Yep.
that could run. So,
Yep. Wow, no one managed
Shocking.
an overtake.
yeah, the 2 Ferrari. It was 3 teams. You don't know how that happened.
Yeah.
2021 Spa. Do you remember that one?
So the one where Lando that's the rained out one, yeah? Yeah.
The
Yep.
the non-event.
Yep. So they did like 3 laps behind the safety car and then
everyone got
classified it.
half points. Yeah. And the 2009 European Grand Prix. Didn't know what happened. Hopefully one day it pops up on the Sunday Sesh because I thought I'd say that.
Yep.
So,
God, how good am I?
I'd surprise you.
It's funny too because as soon as you said Colombian, that's who I pictured in my mind straight
Yeah.
away was that dude. I'm like, God, can I think of his name? And as soon as you said IndyCar, something connected in my head.
So I don't
And-
remember last week because obviously we spoke about the Triple Crown of Motorsport.
Yeah.
I can't remember if I said to you the drivers that were close. There's only
I don't
3
remember.
that like are kind of, I guess, still in contention. Not that Juan River. He needs to win the Le Mans, and Jacques Villeneuve needs to win.
Oh, well, that's a shame. That's a shame he's not going to do that.
Jacques Villeneuve needs to win Le Mans as well, I think.
Right.
And
So again, it kind
Alonso.
of shows how redundant that whole thing is.
Whoa, this is history.
Anyway, are you going to give me a better clap than that?
No,
I deserve that. Like,
No.
surely.
it was. Look, I'll give it to you. I wasn't expecting you to get it. I
Yeah.
thought that obviously when I hit the ones, I was like,
That's a giveaway.
yeah. But I was like, you probably haven't even heard of who Juan Pablo Montoya is. So
Give me some credit here. I'm running an F1 podcast, for fuck's sake. Jeez.
yeah, about the modern day Formula One.
We might have to switch this up. I might have to start asking you
Drive to
questions
Survive
because
fanboy.
I
Yeah,
might
do it.
I might know more than you here.
Yeah. Box Box Bash, let us know if that's what you want to hear.
Yeah.
I'd love to know. You'd probably give me the randos who race one Formula One race in the 60s and be like, here, go, tell me
You'd probably get them
who
too
this is.
because you watch that sort of stuff.
No, not that far back. God. I'll literally look at some of these guys and they're like, one Formula One started in 1957. I'm like, what?
Oh, like I've said before, there's been like almost 800 drivers in F1 history.
Yeah.
And
I'm waiting till I actually get someone I know
Yeah,
on this
yeah.
list.
We probably know 50. Like
It's
you
funny.
you could probably name, if I was to put it to you, name 50 F1 drivers. You could probably do that, but there's no way you could get to 100.
Probably not.
Yeah.
It's funny, right? I obviously saw Martin Brundle's birthday. I was like, oh, that's pretty good. I reckon I can do something with that. And then, we got on the headset before the race and started chatting. And I asked you, I was like, oh, what's going on, Brundle? Trying to bait. And you never said nothing about his birthday. I was like, cool, you don't know. I can use that. Was it 10 laps to go? Crofty's like, and a shout out to Martin Brundle on his birthday. I was like, oh, and I was just waiting. And you're like, oh, it's on his birthday. I was like, that's not a question. He ruined it.
Oh, that's a shame.
But-
That was a better question anyway.
Yeah, I tried to, put a bit of sauce on it.
Yep.
So, boost up the segment a little bit.
Well done.
Thank you.
All right, we've got a week break between rounds, and then we hit Canada. I like Canada. I'm looking forward to Canada. But if this trend of lack of racing continues, I might just quit.
Well, I can't
maybe
do
maybe we
this.
should cover NASCAR or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, NBA. Oh, actually, no, it's about to be
Yeah,
over.
no, we have to wait. Yeah.
About to be over.
No, we'll find something to talk about.
Yeah.
This is Oscar's season, remember? So
Yeah. If as long as he's winning the boring races, we can continue.
yeah, this is what it feels like to be a Max and Lewis fan.
I know.
Yeah,
It's not so paying for alcohol.
yeah. I could do this. I
Yeah.
could get used to this.
Yeah, this is easy.
All right, GG's.
See you in Canada.
Will do.
All right.